So let's move to Maya and look see how that looks like. So start on clean, and let's create this plane. Let's create these spheres, 3 of them, 3 spheres. Select them all, put them a little bit higher, and just make them smaller or whatever. That, maybe make it one bigger. Doesn't really matter as long as they are just, it can be nicely lit like a cluster, like together. So this one could be like one object clustered together, lit. So let's create also a camera. So let's go and create a camera from this view, and then from the perspective view, the normal perspective view, I would like this camera to be locked, so I don't move it. So every time I'm going to the other camera, let's give it a name, cam 01, I have the tendency to move, but I don't want that. I want it to be like this as I want it, right? So in that case, we go to the perspective camera. We select this camera, and then we can select everything from the camera, hit right mouse button, and say lock selected. So now I can't do anything with this camera. I can look still through it, but I cannot move in it anymore. With Alt or try whatever I want, I cannot do it. Then I would like to have, let's go to perspective view, some lights. So let's go to rendering again, and here are all the lights. So we have the ambient light, the directional light, the point light, spotlight, and so forth, area light, volume light. We're going to use the spotlight. Why are we not going to use a point light, for example? Because a point light gives light to all directions. So this light gives to 6 directions light, and so 6 times calculation. We don't want that. That's why we're going to use a spotlight. So let's click on spotlight. It's a spotlight here. It's very hard to, I find it pretty hard to focus that on the object. So if I hit 7 on the keyboard, I can have a look and see like, okay, I can do this, and then hit it there, but I want to have it perfectly aligned with the camera and look through. We can look through this to have it easier going and setup. So how will I do that? I go to panels, then I go to look through selected. I click on this. Now I'm looking through my spotlight. So I can select it like this, and I can see where's the camera. There's the camera. I'll be a bit right from the camera, like that. And this could be my key light for this. And I go back to my cam. I can see how it is more or less lit. Actually, I should render that to see it a bit better. This is our previous render. Let's give it it's an Arnold render now. So let's escape this. We're not going to put Arnold lights now. So we just have software render now. And see how that looks. Yeah, so it's not great yet. Maybe also go to the render options and go to software and put it on production quality. And see how that looks. Oh, maybe ray tracing is not on yet. Also, let's put ray tracing on as well. Right. And that looks way better already. It says some shadow, and this is where we start. We can also look into the options of the light, by the way. So if I go to my attribute editor and look into this light, I can see, okay, there's the intensity. So maybe put this, we set 0.6. Maybe it's too low. We have to look at different compared to all the other lights we put into the scene. And there's no decay. Actually, normally it would be nice to have a linear decay, but then it's too much. The light is too far away then. So then we might need to go to a 0.1 or even higher, like this. Because if you have a normal light at home, this is best to have a linear decay. But for the sunlight, it's so strong, you need to have a photometric decay. So in this case, we can have no decay first to just have this setup, and then you can play later on with decay and maybe also look up the photometric and linear rendering. We're covering the basics now, so it's for you to dive in that further. Now we can also see what this spotlight can do. So there's a cone for it. So let's see what that does. See, like that. And there's also a drop off for the whole thing. And also there's a cone, the angle for this that drops it off a little bit. So that you can play around with and see how that looks like. And maybe we can see if we add another one. Here we go. We can also go to panels, look through it. This is the other one. And now I want to have the counter of the camera, so a bit low like this. And we can put it also closer, right? So that's up to you to decide where it needs to be and how much it is emitting, what the color maybe is of it. Most of the time it's white. And you can change this, of course, as well. And this one has no shadow. There's already shadow on ray tracing, so put that off. So let's go back to the perspective view and have another spotlight, and also go look through selected. And where's my camera? There's my camera. It should be the opposite of the camera. So I can do it like this, or if it's really the opposite, I can go underneath like that. But then you get a problem because it will hit the back side of this face, right? So how to solve that? I can go back to a perspective view. I can go to window. I can go to relationship editors. I can go to light linking and say what object is linked to a certain light, or what light is linked to a certain object. So let's go to light and light centric. So I can say if I hit the last one, which was the backlight, I can see, okay, this plane is hit by it. So let's undo that. It's not hit by that anymore. So now it goes through the plane and only hits the spheres. And now you can also do the other way around, like if I go towards Windows and then relationship, light linking, and then object centric, I can hit the plane and check it on and off here. And as you can see, I need names. I need a good name for spotlight, a good name for the key light, the fill light, and also the backlight. That's up for you to do in the exercise as well. And again, the last one also should not have any shadows on it. Right? And of course, we can have a look in our on our view on how it looks now. Not sure if it's like, see. So now, normally I test it out, so you can put it on and off the spotlight. So you can say emit or not emit, and then make a test frame and see how that looks like. And also with this one, and then add them slowly, and then see how that works out. So every time you add, and then see, okay, how does it look? And now maybe this one was too much, so it's 0.6, and this one 0.3, but I didn't really see this one. Let's put it on. Let's see what that does. So let's put the first one off, so I can see, does this do anything at this moment? No, it doesn't. So then we need to see, like, where is it in space, and fix that. So where is it in space here? It's hitting that, but maybe not seen by the camera. So I can go and look through selected and put it a bit more up like that. So, and then see what, okay. Now we can see a little bit of it. See here? See if we can see that also in the renderer. It's hard to see, but I can see it on my screen. There is this little rim here. You can see. That's from the backlight. It takes it off the background. If we can, just for the sake of argument, if we couldn't see it, make it a bit bigger like that. See, I put it now very high. I can even put 50 here, doesn't matter. So now I can really see it, that it does something. See? But you should never put it this high, of course. So, and all of them together can make this render, which is of course not perfect yet, but you can tweak it around and say, okay, is the shadow correct, and so forth, and how do I make it even nicer? That's more or less the setup. Alright,